Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers have more information about the seller and the business to help them make a buying decision. Before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of this business. It's an e-commerce and Amazon FBA business created in February of 2008 in the apparel and accessories and bed and bath niches. And the average monthly revenue for the business is $135,774 and makes an average of $27,403 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are a primary domain and all site content and files, secondary domains, 301 redirects, Shopify account, Seller Central account, contractor contacts, supplier contracts and relationships, social media accounts, which include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and TikTok, trademarks, an email list with over 86,000 subscribers, and rights for exclusive proprietary fabric. And just as a disclaimer, inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to unlockers. So for everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 63092 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So that's a brief overview of the business for sale. Let's hear from the seller with me today. So welcome to the show, Anita. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business. So to start us off, can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
Yeah, sure. I'll be happy to do that. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and this is my third business that I've started. I'm involved in several others that I didn't start, but I'm a pretty busy person. Before that, I was in product management and marketing, and that was before I started my first company. I worked corporate, and I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so the idea of starting a business was not new to me. As far as this particular business, the idea for this business came about in 2008. I was having some sleep issues for a variety of reasons, and I decided, what if I could solve this problem with this product that I would develop? And sure enough, I was able to develop a product that led to other products. And, it was textile related. I was in the textile industry. And it's been a success. We're very lucky and happy to have tested it. It tested well and found some great customers to purchase our products.
Yeah, it certainly has experienced some significant success. And I was just curious, did your experience in product management and marketing in the textile space, did that make this a natural transition for you, or was it still a learning curve to figure all of this out?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because the textile part was really easy for me because I was already in the space. So that's the good news, that this product is developed and whoever buys it has access to all this product knowledge that's already there and these proprietary fabrics that we use. As far as the other part, the hard part for me was because I'm actually in my 60s. So learning to market a brand online was the challenge for me. But, I've been doing it now for a while and started off doing it myself. But now I've pretty much outsourced a lot of that and have a really great team that works with me. So I think that's part of our success.
Well, that's great. And I can certainly see that your customer base seems to love this brand just based on the subscribers that you have and the repeat purchases. But we can get more into that in a little bit. So, second question then, it has certainly been a ride. You built this business from 2008. So, why are you deciding to sell the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
That is a good question as well. Like I said, this is my third business. I'm involved in several other businesses on more of a consultancy basis. I'm ready to retire, so it is time for this to go to the next level. Somebody who can add life and more ideas. I still have a lot of ideas and I'm willing to provide those to the buyer and definitely work with the buyer on expanding the business. But I basically want to retire from the day to day. So that's kind of the main reason.
That certainly makes sense. Okay. So this business has certainly seen a large degree of success. What did you learn from building this business that just seemed to work that contributed to that success?
Well, online businesses that solve problems are kind of a natural fit for e-commerce brands. It's funny when someone has a problem, what do? The first thing they do is Google the question. And our site will pop up whenever someone Googles the specific question that our products solve. I think that's what I've learned. I've also learned that when you build a good product and it's something that people want and need, the products basically sell themselves because people refer you. They keep coming back. They talk about this solution to their friends. So it really is something that I've learned. And it's actually not new. I think it just works particularly well with e-commerce businesses because all of a sudden the marketplace isn't just the block or a 1 mile radius around your physical store. Your marketplace technically is worldwide. That's what I've learned about this particular business and why it's working.
Yeah, definitely. I was just looking at the breakdown of how you get your traffic on your business listing, and I'm seeing that, yep, a good amount is through organic search and also social. But yeah, that's a good sign when an e-commerce business has such a nice balance of different traffic sources.
And we have almost a 50% return customer rate, which I've been told is really great in the e-commerce space. And it shows that people love our product and they're coming back again and again.
Yeah. I also don't know what the industry average is for the return customer rate. For any buyers listening, this is not the return product rate. This is the subscriber rate.
Yeah, people coming back,
Right.
not going away.
Yeah, it does sound very high. You're essentially doubling or just whatever Xing the customer lifetime value for half of your customer base. So that sounds significant. Excellent. Well, was there anything you tried over the course of just the journey of this business that didn't work out as well? Maybe a product launch or any sort of marketing strategy that you implemented?
Yeah, I think anytime you have an e-commerce business, you have to continually test. We're big believers in testing everything. And yes, we've had some product styles and colors and things that we've tested that haven't worked. And we just basically always test small quantities and then close them out if they don't work out. Same with new marketing channels. We try them, we spend our money on them. We figure out what our test budget is. And if it doesn't work, we don't repeat. There were 2 channels from the previous year that I think after we had a big surge, a COVID surge, our products did quite well during that time period. The next year, we tested some new channels and we decided not for us because they didn't work out so well. So I would say the 2 things you mentioned, actually, products and marketing, are things that we test, and not everything works out. That's why you test. You learn from your mistakes.
Yep. And those were the 2 that I brought up because those are the 2 areas for e-commerce businesses. That's the most common answer that I hear. So,
Oh, is that right?
well, I mean, if you're testing, then by definition, some of those are just not going to work out. But I liked hearing that you set aside a test budget for these things because in many cases, especially for those just starting out there, the feeling is I have to succeed at this product or I just can't continue doing this. I can't continue in business. I can't continue doing this. So it's nice to hear that it's almost baked into your business's system to have these budgets for testing and these processes for testing to enable growth, to enable these, I guess, reduce the risk of doing these experiments.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where the marketing experience comes in. Whether it's e-commerce marketing or, straight up radio and television, newspaper, whatever you're doing, it's always important to test everything with, a limited, it doesn't have to be a huge budget. And that's the beauty of PPC advertising. You can just test something out, test a creative, you test an audience. So we test, we learn, and then we either grow it or we stop it. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, you mentioned that you handled many parts of the business early on, but that you have a system in place and staff in place who either have taken over many of the operations or help run many of parts of the business. Can you tell me the amount and the type of work that you do on this business for maintenance?
Yeah. So at this point, I work because I have a really good team, they're all on monthly retainer. So I work about maybe 20 hours a week. And I pretty much in the center of the spoke of the wheel. I basically manage the people that I work with, meet with them just to make sure they're on track. And I probably do more of the big picture, and make sure they're all cohesively working together. But we did a brand refresh in 2021. So our site functions super well. Most of our business is on Shopify. We do about 10%, actually a little less than 10% on Amazon. That is by choice. We like having control over our customer base. And it's really easy to market to a customer group. And it explains why we have such a large repeat customer rate, because we are able to continually market to these people who love our products. So I would say, just in summary, I coordinate my people and I strategize about how we can grow the business with my people. Those are the main functions. And then a little bit of finance. I work with my accountant in the finance side and inventory management. We have an inventory management tool now that we use that makes things a little bit easier, but those are the ways I spend my week.
Got it. Certainly a nice 20-hour, multiple six-figure operation that you have here. Okay, nice. So let's talk a little bit about the opportunities then. You just said you refreshed the site, has a new look, it's faster. Seems like things are fresher in that regard. Seems like you took advantage of an opportunity there. If you were to keep the business, what are some ways that you would try to grow it?
There's so many things that I would do. Well, first of all, we had some high-level marketing people come in and do some consulting. And we've been told that we haven't even touched the tip of our lookalike audiences for our target. So we would pump money into more lookalike audiences on all of our current channels. We would look at perhaps doing some custom packaging and for our products. Right now, we have nice packaging, but we would maybe customize it with our brand, maybe update some of our tags. Of course, after our supply runs out, it's not like we need to, but we could update if we chose to. But we like to not waste. So we would continue on with our current product tags and packaging until we ran out of our existing stock, and we have quite a bit still. We might add like some eco products. That's a big thing right now. Products made from recycled materials in our little niche. We have some things in the works right now that actually would go with the business and with our manufacturing partner. So that's pretty exciting. We would probably add new colors and styles to our existing collections, perhaps work on our website CRO to make it even better, and possibly look at adding some new collections that maybe would have some synchronicity. We have 5 different ideas for new collections that have synchronicity with our current collections of products. And lastly, we might consider a warehouse review to see if we could find some substantial gains by moving to a new warehouse. We have several ideas on that as to why, but it would bear an investigation to see if there's something better out there, maybe warehouses that are situated around the country to take advantage of faster shipping times, that kind of thing. But, what we have now is good. It maybe could be improved upon, but it bears a cost benefit analysis. So those are some of the opportunities we see.
Yeah, definitely a lot of opportunities here. And the first one that you pointed out with the lookalike audiences, I feel like I should point out that this is an opportunity specifically because you have built up that email list and that you have those repeat customers, that your business is primarily D2C, which has a lot of benefits just having understanding your customer better. Whereas maybe if for those who are only selling on Amazon, they don't have as much understanding about who their customer is or who their lookalike audience is. So yeah, I think this is a uniquely compelling opportunity for this business in particular.
Can I speak to that point a little bit more? That's a really important thing. So we purposely sell D2C, and we understand the value of Amazon because some customers only buy on Amazon. That's why we're there. But by having a lot of customers on our D2C site, we have complete control over our customer list. And there's so much opportunity to resell and introduce new products to those customers. And it's much more difficult to do that on Amazon because they don't allow you to have your customer lists. It's pretty limited. I don't even think you can have emails that you can get from Amazon. Maybe there's a backdoor way, but I'm not aware of that. That's why it's been super important for us to have the D2C component, and we've become very successful on that side.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're thinking about different ways to develop the product, to expand the product lines or create new, like related lines. Those are all without knowing your customer intimately, like stabbing in the dark a bit when deciding the best ways to expand the brand line. So I think those two play nicely together with more intimate understanding of your customer base through the audience understanding that you have in order to inform the decision about what direction to grow the brand. So yeah, I thought those were two good points to point out alongside each other. Well, with any opportunity, of course, there is risk with any business model. So let's talk about that. What do you think are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
We get to talk about my nemesis. Inventory management has been one of the hardest things over the past 3 years. COVID created a huge demand for our products. Suddenly, everyone was working at home. They wanted our products. I guess 2020, we ran out certain periods. We weren't using an inventory management tool at the time. And it was this crazy amount of demand. And so finally, we started using an inventory management tool. We started shipping by air. Another issue was that the containers weren't available. We couldn't get our products. They're not made in America. They're made in Asia, like a lot of products, in Taiwan and Thailand, to be exact, and just basically had issues, not so much with our manufacturer, but part of it was just what happened with COVID, but also getting containers and the shipping times. The ports were all impacted. So our 30-day shipping time all of a sudden turned into 4 months. And that really didn't get cleared up until probably, I would say end of Q2 2022. And now we are on track. We have plenty of product. Our shipping times have come down to a manageable 2 months. We use an inventory tool that helps. So we've input, the correct amount of time it's taking us to get our products. So we have learned a lot. That's all I can say. So that is something that I would strongly encourage any buyer to do, is to really understand the shipping times and use an inventory management tool, which we didn't use. And it's probably better to have, in my opinion, and this may not be everybody else's opinion, but it's better to have a little bit too much product than to have none at all, because if you don't have anything to sell, so those are the risks, that should something else happen with a pandemic or the shipping crisis that all e-commerce stores faced. It wasn't just me. Anybody that imported anything had issues with finding containers and shipping times. I think we even had one container go overboard at one point.
Oh boy.
And luckily, for insurance, we're able to get it covered. But, when you don't have that product, it's a problem. You need the product to sell. So that's the risk. Better inventory management in a nutshell.
Sure. And I'm sure anyone who's been involved with e-commerce for the past 2 years is well aware of some of these supply chain issues that many sellers are experiencing. And it's also can be seen as an opportunity for those, especially some of the larger e-commerce sellers right now. They've, by necessity, have had to tidy up some of their supply chain operations. So for anyone who maybe does have maybe like some 3PLs in place or their own warehouse where they can further improve upon the supply chain here, that could be an opportunity for growth that I'm seeing from this. But the other point, going back to DTC, so one reason why you don't want to run out of inventory if you're selling only through Amazon FBA is because of the bestseller rank, the BSR. And that ranking, if you run out of inventory, it harms that ranking, meaning it harms your organic visibility, your organic ranking. With you controlling more of that side, with you selling predominantly through Shopify and just being less reliant on Amazon, these sorts of things, you're less at risk of harming your BSR on Amazon FBA. So that was just another thought that I had as you were explaining this.
Yeah, but let me just clarify something. We are not Amazon FBA. We're seller fulfilled Amazon. So everything comes out of our 3PL. I don't know if that makes a difference to what you're saying. So we ship everything. We still are held by the same Amazon rules, I'm sure, and some of their metrics. But yeah, so most all of our Amazon sales come through our 3PL.
Right. It's still relevant on your Amazon side, regardless of if you fulfill there. It's just less of your sales volume goes through Amazon. So you're just not fully dependent on the Amazon machine. Well, Anita, a few final questions here, some housekeeping questions. How much support are you willing to offer a new buyer after they acquire the business?
I can commit basically to as long as the buyer needs, but after 30 days, it would be more of a consultant basis. I'll do what it takes to keep this business growing and thriving.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and the default is 30 days, and anything after that, good to hear that you'll be willing to stick around, but yes, on a as need basis and as more of a consultancy. Okay. And just to confirm that you commit to a non-compete after this business is sold?
Yes, I am retiring, so I could definitely sign a non-compete. I have no desire to, well, there's always desire, but the thought of starting a new business, it's a lot of work. All the work's been done for this business, and to start from scratch again, it's a lot of work. So whoever buys this business, they're going to have a thriving business that is in good shape that they can take and run with.
Yep. You know what it takes to rebuild this whole thing from scratch since you've just gone through this entire thing. Got it. Okay. And are you open to something like an earnout on this business?
I would listen to any offer. I definitely want the majority in cash, but I would consider an additional earnout without performance-based conditions. Once a business is sold, I don't have control over how a new operator would run the business. So it would just, have to be a straight up earnout. The other side of that is if there's competition between buyers for this business, that would be a good incentive if somebody did that, if they provided an earnout in addition to the asking price. That would definitely lean my decision in who I sell to toward that particular buyer.
Got it. Sounds good. And last question, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
Oh, that's easy. I'll tell you. Problem-solving businesses like this that have a tested solution and a great return customer rate are businesses that are hugely scalable, even during a down economy. We started this business in 2008 during a massive recession, and we're still here thriving. and have spoken about the scalability of this business according to our marketing folks. And with some additional investment, there's so much opportunity with this brand. We've barely touched the potential. So yeah, that's why I think it would be a great business for somebody to purchase that wants a plug and play business. You plug yourself in and you just go with it.
Yeah. And there is something to say to the fact that it went to, some might argue, two recessions or two
Yeah.
economic downturns. So, yeah, that is a good sign that it's not only surviving, but thriving through those two changes. I think I'm going to wrap this up here. So, thanks so much for sharing your story and just joining us on today's episode. And yeah, I hope your business is purchased in the near future and by the right buyer.
Well, thanks. I certainly hope so too. I'm excited to meet that special person.
Yes, absolutely. Me too. Okay. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 63092. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.